Hello everyone. Welcome to another video here on Danny's Corner. Today I want to talk about the Super Bowl. If you hear my uh, screen reader, it's from my phone because I'm actually doing this video on another place and still inside my house, but I don't have the right setup here. Just wanted to do something different. Anyway, um, just wanted to let you know that as blind people, and keep in mind, this is not all blind people. This is not all people with disabilities. It's only my experience. There's a lot of people who enjoy the Super Bowl and other sporting events. I'm one of them. Um, as a boy, I remember that I used to be aware of all these sports, no matter what they were. And one of the things that I always found interesting and wanted to know is that I wanted to see if all of these sports were adapted for blind people in this case. And I did find a few. I never got to participate in one of these leagues or whatnot because as a blind person, uh, there was no such thing as a formal league of blind people in the city where I grew up. But I later found out that, other cities in the United States, for example, did have leagues where they would participate in all sorts of sports. And again, these were with blind people. Football, unfortunately, has not been adapted to my understanding, but I don't know. It would be interesting to see if that could be a sport that could be adapted for blind people. Who knows? But anyway, today I want to speak about, again, the experiences that I've had with the Super Bowl as a major event. So, the way that I enjoy sports typically is either by radio or TV. And I say radio loosely. I'm talking about way before we had this era of streaming content. That's how I used to enjoy my sports, radio. And then as the internet came of age, we started streaming things, and now that's how I enjoy sporting events. What is the difference between TV and radio? And one of the things that I find so complicated is that with TV, there's a lot more talking. What I mean by that is, sure, the event does get narrated, in this case, the Super Bowl, and I am able to find out what each person is doing. But then they spend 2 to 3 minutes, maybe more, throughout the whole game, talking about things that are not related to what's happening then and there. So, for example, they might go on talking about, let's say, Tom Brady doing this. In the meanwhile, there's something else going on that I'm not being aware of because they're talking about a story that doesn't have anything to do with the game that's going on, if that makes any sense. And when you listen to this on the radio, for example, or through another streaming service, and you only hear the voice of the announcer doing the play-by-play, you hear everything. There is very little time for storytelling because you need to be telling the person who's listening each thing that's going on as the game is underway. Here's my problem with the Super Bowl that I'm not having so much with other sports such as basketball, soccer, baseball, etc. For whatever reason, the NFL does not, as far as I know, does not like for the main event to be broadcasted and or streamed on the radio. As far as as far as my knowledge goes, I have not been able to listen to a Super Bowl game on the radio for whatever reason. And when I have tried and, let's say, stream it, it says something like, this game is not being you're not able to stream this game because of your location. So it seems like you have to be in the same city as where the broadcast is originating from, and able for you to listen to the game. And that poses a bunch of. I understand why the NFL is doing it in this case. However, as with other things, I don't think that the NFL is taking into consideration people with disabilities who enjoy sporting events. And so if they're not going to be able to license these things to the streaming giants or whatnot, they should at least do something to where, now that we are in this digital age, we should have a secondary channel, especially for those events. So for example, let's say, okay, the NFL doesn't want for their broadcast to be listened to nationwide on any streaming platform. I get that. So in this case, what they should do is, besides having the English / Spanish audio feed or track on TV, they should also have the descriptive thing where, for example, they are not only going to do the play-by-play commentary, but they're also going to announce other things that might be going on. And there is something that I liked that I have not experienced before, that happened yesterday with the Super Bowl. And this is not due to the Super Bowl. This is just something that I landed on as I was searching through YouTube. So, because I couldn't find the game on the internet, like streaming just audio, and I don't like the TV because, again, there's a lot more talk and there's not a lot of play-by-play action going on, because people assume, well, you are able to see it. Why do you need us to tell you everything that's going on? Okay, so I was able to find this channel, and they were able to get me the whole experience of the game with the 49ers and what was the other team? Yeah, the 49ers, San Francisco 49ers, and whatever, I can't remember the other team. Anyway, but it wasn't enough. And that's the problem, right? So you're always going to miss one thing or another when you're searching for something, when you're searching in this case for the game, you're going to miss, in this case, for example, I wanted to experience um, the Chiefs. Getting to experience the Chiefs actually, like how was it to, or get the play by play on the players being presented with whatever they get presented with, um, just to hear, the expression that their face conveys, if I'm making any sense. And I have not been able to find that. Not when I have turned on the TV to experience the game, and again, not on the radio because they don't tell you that sort of stuff. And so I lose a lot of information. And it's like, yeah, there's something missing. The good thing about the Super Bowl, though, because this was being narrated, and again, there was no stadium sound or anything like that. It was just a watch party. They were able to do something really cool that I have never experienced before, which is a halftime game. What I mean by that is, yeah, everybody, who is involved with the NFL or with any other halftime show, they actually broadcast the halftime game, but they don't tell you what's going on. So you have to imagine everything that's on stage or whatnot. And in this case, although, these people were not intending to give a detailed description of what the halftime game was, what the halftime show was like, at least I was able to get some sort of a flavor, who was coming out, who was doing what, really loosely, very loosely, I was able to find that out, if that makes any sense. And so, I don't know, I felt and I feel every year that I tune into Super Bowl, as it's one of the biggest events here in the United States, I feel cheated. I feel as if, wow, I like it, but at the same time, there's no way for me to enjoy something like this because it's being taken away from me in one way or the other. And maybe the NFL doesn't know that there are people with disabilities who enjoy the NFL. And so how are they going to know if nobody speaks up? How are they going to know if, nobody talks about this stuff? And so the play-by-play action is really important, more to the blind person in this case than the sighted person. This is why I say that there should be another track added to the audio language menu that would be able to describe, again, not only the play-by-play but also the halftime show whenever there's a Super Bowl or any other sporting event. Or I know, for example, the Grammys had that. And I'm not sure if this was done independently, but I did find an audio of a secondary channel describing the Grammys and who went up and how they were dressed and so forth and so on in a much better detail than, let's say, the regular broadcast. So yeah. Let's see what else. Yeah, no, that's all I wanted to talk about. Congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs. Let me tell you something. I wasn't expecting that. I was hoping that the 49ers would win it. Obviously, they didn't. And I was surprised that they had changed the some of the rules when it came to overtime. I thought that this was going to end, when it at the last of the fourth quarter, but it didn't. And yeah, there were some mistakes that the 49ers did during the game, which cost them not only for them to go into overtime, but the game as a whole, because some people went out because of injuries or whatnot. Anyway, it was exciting, and this is why I like the Super Bowl and other events when it has to do with sporting things, because it leaves you at the edge of your seat, and so you never know what's going to happen. The last time that I was pleasantly surprised, I believe it was the Patriots who went through the same thing. Who went to an extra quarter, and that was pretty fun as a blind person to get to experience that. Although I was, in my own home, and so yeah, I generally do not enjoy the halftime show as much because, again, it's a lot of visual things, and not everyone who is broadcasting likes to, or they don't think about that, as I said. So there's no description of what's happening or whatnot. So to me, it's only music that's playing. So until yesterday, as I have said before, I was able to be a little bit more aware of what actually was happening on stage as people, came out and started singing with Usher. So yeah, what do you think? Have you ever thought about this, of how blind people may experience the NFL and any other sport for that matter? I know soccer, for example, is much more accessible in that way, where on the radio they actually describe everything that's going on, and whenever there is a final of whatever it is that they're playing, because remember, there are different tournaments within soccer, either nationally or internationally, like the FIFA World Cup. You're able to find that there's always going to be a radio station that's going to be broadcasting that. No matter the country or the city, but not with the NFL. So I'm not sure if they don't like sharing their feed. It's complicated. But anyway, what my point is, it's tough to follow football for that reason. I do, but it's hard. One last thing before I leave you. What did you guys think of the commercials? I wasn't able to experience any of that because, as I said, the TV, it's not my favorite way to enjoy games. But let's say last year, for example, I don't know, from a few years, and I can't tell you how many years back, but the commercials have been getting not, I don't know. They've been not bad, but they haven't been excellent in the 2 or 3 years, Um, when I was a boy, the majority of the commercials were great, and there was always something to talk about or always something to remember. But as I have gotten older, the commercials have been dwindling in terms of their quality. This is supposed to be the main event. This is supposed to be something huge. So you would think that you would step up and make these commercials memorable for years to come. And that's not the case. In my experience, I have not really seen any commercials that would stand out as of late. So I don't know. Maybe that's just me. So what do you think? Have you ever given thought to any of this? And what would you do in my case? Imagine that you were blind and you wanted to enjoy something like the NFL. What would you do in that case? And I have experienced it in different ways. For example, I've experienced the NFL with friends. Um, I've experienced the NFL, well, just listening to it here at my in my house on my own. Um, I haven't gone to a stadium yet to experience a football game, not even the regular season, much less the Super Bowl, but it would be nice. So, yep, that's it for now. It was a pleasure being with you. And remember that if you would like to subscribe to this channel, you may do so. And I talk about everything. And this is just one more thing. I like sports. I played them before. And this goes to show that there isn't any boundaries when it comes to what a blind person likes or doesn't like. Thank you very much. As I said before, don't forget to subscribe, to share, to give a thumbs up, to comment, make a suggestion, ask any questions, and I will try to answer those to the best of my knowledge. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.